Greetings and welcome to this week's Pastor Capture. I'm Steve Stoltz-Costello, Senior Pastor here at Minter, and this is Tammy Palermo, our Pastor of Children and Family Ministries, and Ivy Smith, our Associate Pastor. And we look forward to this opportunity, hoping that you're able to watch this and get connected to the various things that are happening. Pastor Capture is where we reflect on last week in service on Sunday, and then a little teaser for this coming Sunday. And this past week was a very big Sunday. The modern service, which I was not at, but I watched online and was very moved. Pastor Tammy gave a testimony. They just had a collection of testimonies. Laura Dixon, Pastor Tammy, as well as Craig Epler. And then they had lots of great music. But go back and watch that. You'll want to hear about Tammy. And really the theme was just the saints and how we're inspired. We're on this series of inspiration there, Inspire. So,
Tammy was inspired by her mom.
I was.
Yeah. And then Craig talked about his dad, and Laura Dixon talked about her mom and grandma. But I loved, and I encourage you to go back and see this. They did. Everybody got this cut out hands, and everybody had a chance to write the name of a saint or somebody that has inspired them, and then put that up on the heart. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that was neat. Even I got a chance to meet with the confirmation class. We have 5 confirmands, and we met and talked about the Trinity. That was the section they were kind of studying on. And so, I kind of talked about what I always think of the Trinity is, how we look at it as 3 in 1, and use the symbols of water, God the Father being just the plain glass of water, then had a glass with ice in it, and that being Jesus. And then the Holy Spirit is that part of hot water, had steam bubbles on it, and no matter what you do, it still ends up being water all the time. But then the other example that I think they kind of liked, we talked about the Trinity being a s'more. Yes, a s'more. The Father is that cracker, that graham cracker that's there. Jesus is the chocolate, and then the Holy Spirit is the marshmallow. So I said, what do you do if you don't have one piece? And they said, it's just a mess. They said, it's gooey. And I said, yeah, it just doesn't work right if they're not all 3 together. You just don't, you'll have chocolate, you'll have marshmallow, but you won't have a s'more. Yeah. And you won't have the
I just have to tell
Trinity.
you that the Coble family, they do the family camp at Wanakee, and s'mores, I remember they won once for one of their s'mores, so I think it's really funny. Since Kate wasn't able to teach.
It's a mentor thing of
that's
s'mores.
so funny. That's awesome. I love it.
What was going on in Sunday school?
So this past week in Sunday school, the kids talked about Jacob leaving his family after he received the blessing from his father, and then he went out to the wilderness and he found a rock and he used it as his pillow. Not very comfortable. And then had a dream about a staircase or a ladder going to the sky, and God appearing to him and promising him that he would be with Jacob and to bless him and his descendants. With that, we talked about how we can be near to God through prayer, and that is something we can always do. Yeah, it was really good. It was really great. We had quite the actress who wanted to act out the Bible story at 9 o'clock.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Narrative.
She was wow. On top of it. I'm like, that is a young lady who needs to be at the artist camp.
So you never know what's going to happen. There's all kinds of, when God shows up, which is every week. I was blessed between the services. Jan Robinson introduced me to a visitor that was here with her children. And I got to sit and talk with them, and she was interested in learning more about the children's programs and stuff.
I met them and the 2 little girls out in the hallway.
That's right.
Yes.
But in the traditional service was beautiful. 9 o'clock in traditional, they had the charter members men's choir, and at 11 o'clock we had the full choir. And I tried to focus on that parable of the talents. Is a tough one. With
you did good with
sermon.
You did good.
Well, I tried, but it's an ongoing thing. I kind of told my call story, so if you hadn't heard that and you're interested in how that particular parable was very instrumental in my sense of God calling me into ministry. So,
good.
And we're going to do this last Sunday. Coming up, this is our last Sunday. This is the last Sunday of our series, Inspired. It's the last Sunday of the Christian year, which simply means it's the last Sunday before we start Advent.
Right.
And one of the things that you'll get, you come to church this Sunday, hold it up to me, yeah.
Grab it.
Our Advent devotional in our new series for Advent, How Does a Weary World Rejoice?
There's one for everybody.
Yeah, we
So make
got
sure you
all
come.
these copies.
These are very, very nice.
So we hope that everybody will be a part of that Advent devotional and get in the spirit for Christmas. We've already decorated. You got to come by the church, just pop in and see.
Yeah, I love the trees.
Come see the trees, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
They're everywhere and beautiful.
So that doesn't start till the 3rd, and on the 3rd, for the traditional, they'll have the cantata, so that's going to be partnering with Paynesville Choir, so that's going to be exciting. But again, this Sunday we'll be continuing. This is the last passage in the Matthew 25. We've been following along with that, and it's that passage at the end time, really, where there's the sheep and the goats, and
31 to 46.
yeah.
Chapter
I'm gonna give you a
25.
teaser. I said in the staff meeting that I thought it was a difficult passage, and Pastor Ivy said it is not difficult. So
Be interested to see your take.
she'll be preaching at Modern if you want a nice, easy. I'm gonna wrestle, it's hard for
That's
me.
right,
No,
that's
I'm
right.
gonna wrestle too.
And the kids, we're wrapping up our fall unit, and we're gonna be talking about the peaceable kingdom from Isaiah
Perfect.
chapter 11, verses 6 to 9. And as we know, as we move into Advent, it's always important to be reminded of this sense of peace.
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 That's our first Sunday.
That's a good way to wrap up our Pastor Capture. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Do us a favor, share this with others, invite others to come to church, especially as we're getting ready for Advent. That's a great time for people to say, hey, I want to go back and just find a church. And this place is amazing. We're finding that people are being drawn here by the sense of God's Spirit and the welcome and love. You can join us in person for modern or traditional at 9 o'clock. We also have modern and traditional again at 11. We'd love to have you in person. We also celebrate anybody that worships online. That's a great way. You can share that link with other people. And as always, take a moment and like us and subscribe and share. And that about wraps it up for this week's
Pastor Capture!
We wish you
A happy
Thanksgiving.